Welcome back, guys, to this mini-series of HGUC EFSF mobile suit reviews. This one today we're going to be taking a look at is the fourth and final one for this week, is the EZ-8, the Gundam that doesn't really quite so much look so much like a Gundam without the V-fin and without kind of some of the more typical Gundam colors and stylings. It definitely has much more of a grunt look to it, and that's very apparent here on the box art as well. It's even the box art, makes it look very grunty there on the box art. But of course, it's from 8th MS Team, which is one of my favorite series, and I think probably a lot of you as well probably also love 8th MS Team. Who doesn't? Everyone loves 8th MS Team. It's an awesome series, and this is an awesome mobile suit. So this is one that I've been wanting to build up for a long time. You guys have been recommending me to build it for a long time. So sorry for the wait, but now it's time to finally get around to building the EZ-8, and here it is. Let's get cracking. Alright, so like I said, the box art here looking very cool. You've got a downed Zaku here. You've got the ground Gundam back there peeking out between the buildings. You've got the Gym Head ground Gundam over here firing the beam rifle, and the EZ-8 front and center with that classic machine gun. And it doesn't look like it's got the back. It looks like it's just got the kind of normal, just like folded up backpack there, nothing on it. But this kit does come with the parachute pack, which is a cool feature of this kit as well too. So they could have cheaped out and not given us anything, or they could have given us like the standard fridge backpack, but that one came with the ground Gundam, so got to give us something different with this one. Over here, this is 155 in the line. On the bottom of the box, there's the front and back look at what the kit looks like when it's all painted up. My box is a little bit faded there, so it's kind of looking not quite the best image of that, but we got some information there about that, and then that classic scene sliding down that silo or whatever with the machine gun and the Vulcans in the chest and the head all firing all at once in its fight against the Goof Custom. Classic scene. One of the best fight scenes, if not the best action fight scene in all of Gundam, in my opinion. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Some more information there. Over here on the other side, some action images. So there you can see the backpack that is going to be included, that parachute pack there for that with some straps. I'm guessing that's going to be kind of like a soft plastic kind of thing used for those straps, but we'll see once we get the kit popped open here. So just more information about the articulation, the posing of that. It can kneel pose. It does have the beam rifle included in there as well, so not just only the machine gun, but the beam rifle, the beam saber. The shield, the chest part opens up to have some nice detail up inside of there, like with the master grade as well too. And there's a detail shot of the backside of the parachute pack. Very cool. And then of course you can face off against the Goof Custom, which was a fantastic HG, really great HGUC kit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this compares to that. I'm guessing they're going to be similarly great. You can see the list price for this, 1,600 yen, so not too bad, around $15 or $20 max. Shouldn't cost you anything more than $20 for this kit, so definitely seems like a fair price. Up in here we've got one big bag, 2, 3 little bags of runners there, and our instruction manual. And on the instruction manual we've just got our typical information about the Gundam, and then a photograph of the painted build. Looking very cool. I gotta say the head proportions, I don't know, and this, maybe it's just this picture. Other pictures I've seen, imagery I've seen of this kit doesn't look that odd, but this particular photo, the head looks a bit odd. Not really. It was a little bit like too tall, too big, or something on there. Not really sure I'm into that, but we'll see how it actually looks once we get the kit all put together. I'll reserve my judgment for now. On the backside, once again, just some more images of the kit, action, rear. We got some markings for this. Of course, they're going to be included in some stickers, I would assume. We got some detail images of the articulation, and that should all be pretty nice as well too. Some more information about the Gundam once again, and the color guide down there at the bottom for that. Off-white, looks like it's white 100%. With a little drop of sandy yellow, yeah. So just a little. That's I think the color that Bandai usually uses. If you guys didn't know, the colors that they use for this are all Mr. Color colors that they use. And anytime they have like this kind of warm white, I think it's usually sandy yellow that they use to drop that into your white to get that kind of cream, warm off-white color. Anyway, opening it up to the center pages here, some more information about all the different aspects of the kit, but this is all in Japanese again, but you can check that out on the Gundam Wiki page if you're so inclined, I'm sure. And then down here, some more about the hardgraph set there, which is kind of outdated. Now that we've got the new versions of the Ground Gym and the Ground Gundam have come out since this one came out, the hardgraph set is still pretty cool. I'm sure there's probably some unique stuff that you can get with that if you can find it. Sometimes the hardgraph sets can be kind of hard to find, but that set does also exist if you guys want to search that one out. We got our parts list here, and it looks like we're going to be using pretty much everything except for a handful of polycaps. The rest of this is just all the general construction, so let's go ahead and check out the runners. So here's our foil sticker sheet, and you can see we've got foil stickers there for the eyes, the beam rifle camera, the head cameras, and these gray ones, I'm not exactly sure where those are going to be going, but I'm assuming probably on the parachute pack parts, I would assume. And some marking stickers here as well, so the classic 08 logo, of course, the EFGF, the Earth Federation Ground Force, not Space Force in this case, and then the EFSF logos, and then a couple other little markings that you can place on there. I think this is the commander marking there, that bar little one there. PC 001 for our polycaps here in gray, and SB6 for our beam saber effect parts in 1/44 scale clear pink. These are the smaller type 1/44 scale beam saber effect parts. And then for the parachute pack, this kind of glossy black plastic ribbon, which is what you have for that. It's kind of fine. Well, I guess it's a more matte finish on one side and more glossy on the other side. So I'm not sure if the manual is going to specify kind of how you're meant to do that. You're probably meant to put it in a certain way to have the more matte finish showing on the outside, I would assume, but it seems pretty easy to replace this with something else if you wanted to, but we'll check that out in the review, of course. So runner A1 here is in that off-white cream color for the main color of the armor and everything, and this is a completely new runner. It does say Gundam Ez-8 over there on the side, so it's not reused from the ground Gundam or anything like that, so that's all looking pretty cool. Then we do also have runner A2 for a copy of this section of the runner here. Runner B1 here is our navy blue parts, and it's not necessarily in so much navy. It does have a little bit more I don't know, like I said, like blue saturation to it, so it's a little bit more kind of like medium blue kind of. Anyway, it does look very nice. And then runner B2 is in dark green for our two big parts there for the parachute pack. Runner C1, once again, an entirely new runner here for this one, all in gray. As you can see, we got some parachute parts on there, hand parts, joint parts, weapons parts. We do also have runner C2, which is a copy of this section of the runner up there for our joints parts mostly. And finally, runner D here, also in gray for some more backpack parts. I think that's our shield connection part, and then one part there for the machine gun as well, and that's it. So like I said, I love 8th MS team, and I've slept on this kit for long enough, so I'm finally excited to put this one together. I really do like the Master Grade as well too. I built the Master Grade years and years ago. I think it still holds up pretty well. I think a 2.0 of the Master Grade of course would be nice, but if you guys prefer 1/100 scale, I think don't let the age of that kit fool you. That said, we'll see how the HGUC kit does. I'm sure it'll be nice, but let me go ahead and get it all built up and we'll find out. Alright guys, anyway, so here it is all built up, and I gotta say, it's a pretty great kit. I do have some complaints about it though. There are some pros and cons that we'll go over with this kit. As far as how it compares to the more recent release of the kind of revive sort of quote-unquote version of the ground Gundam, I think it's comparable. It's definitely not quite as nice as that in general, but there are definitely, like I said, pros and cons to this kit, so it should make for a good companion for that kit, even though this is an older kit compared to that. We've got some good solid construction there, some nice detail, and a good amount of option weapons and parts and stuff that you can use with this to make it worthwhile HG, so let's go ahead and check it out. So for accessories, we've got holding hands for the beam sabers for the left and the right side, and then for the left side only, we've got a closed fist, and for the right side only, we've got a trigger finger hand. We've got our standard ground Gundam type shield here. That is pretty nice. It doesn't have the fold-out kickstand like the newer HG version has. It's just pretty simple. You can choose whether you want to plug this onto the side or the back of the arm, but that's really about all you can do with this. We've got the machine gun here that does have a little peg in the side of the handle to fit into the hand nicely. The back part will rotate back like that, and then the side handle will also fold out for doing a two-handed grip on that if you wanted to. Now the ammo is removable of course on here, but unlike with the newer HGs, this ammo here on the side skirt is not removable. That's just molded together with the side skirt, so you're not able to remove that off of there. Then we got the beam rifle, which is of a nice design. You have a little sticker there for the camera for that. It's in two colors here, obviously, also with a peg there to fit into the hand. The front handle does also move on this one as well too for two-handed grip. Again, nice. I think the newer version of this one is also a little bit better as well too, but it does work pretty well. Then you've got your two beam saber effect parts for the beam saber handles, which are stored up here in the side of the leg, so you can kind of pop that open and just have it like looking like it's open like that, but actually it's just this panel that comes off and your beam saber handles are stored up in there. Now I have a question for you guys, and hopefully one of you maybe knows a little bit more about the lore of this. Could this Gundam actually use both beam sabers at the same time? That seems like a pretty high power output that I'm not sure if this Gundam really would have been able to take. I think probably yes, it could, but I'm just wondering because I know it's not necessarily the most powerful Gundam in terms of its power output capabilities, but I'm just wondering if that's even possible. Well, hopefully you guys maybe can shed some light on that. I don't know if it's maybe a tough question to ask, but anyway. Then as for the stickers, of course you got the stickers for the eyes, the head cameras, also front and back there, and then the sticker for the chin piece, which is just supposed to be red, but you've got a little foil sticker for that, unfortunately not an actual separate red piece. And the marking stickers, I placed some of them on there. There are still a couple more that I did not put on, but there's some of those on the white or off-white plastic. They look fine. On the darker colored plastic, not really quite so much. Your other stickers are these gray ones here for these this ribbon ribbon belt part that attaches onto the shoulder. Now what it is, it basically loops inside the gray part in there and then comes around. And to attach this onto the shoulder, basically you have to loop it over itself and then wrap this sticker around there. So that's very not easy to take off and on again, so you do have some extras of those stickers. You need 2, and you get 6 of them in case you want to take this off and you want to put it back on again. You need a new sticker for that. So it's using these stickers basically to connect this part here together on there. So it's not great. I don't think that's a really good option for that. So I think probably your best bet would be just to scratch build a little something a little simple, just a couple pieces of plot plate, scratch build, just glue them together around this, and that'd probably be the easiest bet. That would be pretty simple to do. This actual like belt plastic ribbon here itself is kind of fine. It's not really that great either. It does the job, but being glossy on one side really kind of kills the look of it for me. The matte side is a little bit better, but I think probably again your best bet for this is probably using some plot plate. Get some like 0.3 millimeter like plot plate. I think it's called plot paper once you get to 0.3 millimeter thickness. But get some of that and cut a strip of that. I think probably to use for this would be a little bit better. Obviously the other thing about the backpack too, as you're seeing here, massive seam lines around on that, this big section of that. Other seam lines on the kit are going to be here on the elbow, also on the front of the arm here, and down here on the front of the shin, a little bit of seam line there. And then on the back of the leg here, they could have hidden that as a panel line if they would have made like a detail line going down like both sides of the leg there, but they put it like off to the side, and so I think that would have made sense. I don't know why. If it's just going to be just regular seam line, why not just have it just straight down the middle? I don't know. But anyway, so we got a couple of seam lines around on the kit, unfortunately. And adding all that up, honestly, kind of the thing that really bothers me the most about the kit is, like I was worried about before, is that the head is kind of big. It's just like proportionally, the head looks too tall on the kit. It looks like it's like really tall, and the fact that you can't point the head down at all. We'll get to going through more of the articulation here in a minute, but like you can point the head up, not really all that far either. As you can see, it's just like popping off the ball joint, so you can put it up a little bit like that, and then down. You would normally want to be able to maybe put it a little bit farther down, but because of that chin piece, you can't really put the head any farther down than that, which is basically just like looking straight ahead. So a little bit disappointed with the head of this kit. I mean, just on its own, it looks great. A lot of nice detail on there, but it just seems a little bit big compared to the body. And just the angle of that, the neck joint for that just doesn't seem that great either. So as for the rest of the articulation, you don't really have too much movement front and back here in the torso section, just like a little bit of a wiggle basically. You got some rotation there as well too, but again, it's kind of hindered by the backpack, so you'd have to take this massive part of the backpack off in order to move that anymore. You can remove this front chest part there to reveal a bunch more detail up inside there, but unfortunately you can't like if it would have been cool if there was like an extra piece to be able to attach it like opened up like that, like you can do with the master grade. But at least the detail is there. If you wanted to just a scratch build little connection piece or something like that to have this opened up, would be pretty simple, I imagine, to do. The shoulder will swing forward like that, pretty nice, and then you can move this shoulder armor up and bring the arm up to really only about 90 degrees, which is kind of a little bit disappointing for this, to be honest. Then you've got some rotation there in the arm, a double joint here in the elbow to give you a pretty good full bend there. You've got hard points for the shield on either the left or the right side, so you can choose which side you want to place that. The wrist, of course, just on a ball joint there. The front skirts are connected, but you can clip those apart. Those will move all the way up, so no problem with moving those totally out of the way. The side skirts, the same thing, you can move those up. The back skirt is just fixed on there, so that's just like that. The hip joint will rotate side to side a little bit. It's kind of hard to see up in there, I know, but that will rotate a little bit. Just kind of the whole hip section will swing side to side, and then of course the legs can rotate there at the top as well too. You can bring them all the way out, very far out to the side, so that's good. You can bring the leg all the way up, plenty up to the front, and then a double joint here in the knee. And the knee armor also is able to move on its own as well too. It's not connected to the knee joint, but that's just able to move up and down a little bit. So that's pretty nice. So a good bend there for the knee. Down here at the ankle, this little flap of armor will move up and down a little bit. And the same thing for this armor piece on the back. It's just connected via a ball joint, but it falls off quite easily. So just be careful with that. Even though it is able to move around a little bit, you probably don't really need it to move around anywhere, so you might want to just glue that to the, let's put a little drop super glue and just glue that to that polycap ball joint in there, because you don't really need it to really do much of anything. You can point the feet down to there and then up to there like that. As you can see, we do have the front half of the foot will bend a little bit on its own, not really all that much though. You can see you've got a little bit of movement there. That's kind of about it, so not really too much. And then up underneath the feet, you got mostly some good detail there, but you do have a couple little hollow gaps in there, unfortunately. As for the backpack, you can remove this part and close up the backpack to just like the normal normal kind of backpack without anything equipped to it. So I'll show that to you here in a bit. I want to try out a couple of poses with the backpack attached on here first, and then I'll take that off and you guys will see how it looks like closed up. And then, as I understand, you should be able to use the actual like big box backpack from the HG Ground Gundam, either the old one or the new one. I believe both should still fit onto the backpack of this. So if you preferred to use the big fridge box on there, you could use that, or you can just have it without and just like this. And so I imagine the parachute pack from the P Bandai Ground Gundam should also fit onto here as well, the different parachute pack, obviously different from this one. So there you have it, guys. As you can see, there are some pros and cons, but of course you can still do some cool poses with this kit, and the number of different accessories do make for some nice options in there as well. So I do think the design of the parachute pack is cool. It's got some seam lines on there, which is a bit annoying, but it is an HG. The only thing that I really don't like about it is those belts. I think there's not really any other better way I think Bandai really could have done it, so I don't really know how they maybe could have done it. Maybe just using like a better material for the kind of belt ribbon part, but I'm sure obviously that would have been more expensive. It's a relatively small complaint, and then there's just other small complaints too. Seam lines, again, it's an HG kit, which is getting a little bit older in age now, so it's just not going to be quite as nice as the newer Revive kind of version of the Ground Gundam. But like I said, I think it's still good enough that it doesn't necessarily warrant like a Revive version of the EZ-8 here as well too. That would be nice, of course, but I think this one is still probably good enough in comparison that's probably not very high up on Bandai's list of kits to remake, basically, to redesign. But who knows, maybe someday in the future. I think what probably a lot of people would be more happy with was a redesign or a 2.0 version of the Master Grade would be nice. Now, I think the Master Grade still holds up pretty well for what it is, for its age. Definitely it still holds up pretty well, and the price of it's pretty cheap as well too. I think it's like around $30, or you can probably find it for even less than that in some cases. But until the day that we get a super nice kit of the EZ-8, both the HG and the MG I think are both worthwhile options worth checking out if you're a fan of the design. Some small complaints about this kit, but overall it's still a cool kit, and if you're a fan of 8th MS Team, then you're gonna love it anyway as well too. But anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Check out USA Gundam Store for everything we've got on sale there, and you can use my coupon code ZakuAurelius10 to save yourself 10% off. The link to the store and the coupon code are both down in the video description, so check those out. Thank you so much. If you want to like the video, comment, subscribe, that would also be greatly appreciated, so thank you guys for that. Till next time, hope you're all having a great day. See y'all later. Bye, guys.